Us live. You guys are welcome to ask any questions that you want. I'm just going to run through the background for myself and for Steve in case you're wondering where have we been, what have we done, what could we possibly help you with. That's what this night is for. We've had a lot of people that really just don't know what we do. So these are my cuties. I got 2 boys and then 2 girls, and they're just really good kids. I got very blessed that way. And Steve thought it would be really fun to put places we've lived and places we've traveled. So the majority of my life has been Wisconsin and Utah, with a couple of short visits down to Arizona. About a year the first time and 9 months the second time. And I really haven't lived a lot of different places. However, traveling is a little different story. I have traveled to all of these states in yellow, and some to Canada, to Mexico, to France, to England. So we've got little spots right over here. And I haven't been anywhere in Africa yet. That's one place that I definitely want to go. And I have never been to Asia. Now these other colder spots I'm not super excited to ever visit. So you probably won't see any dots on the map there later. My background has been primarily in real estate. I did some odd jobs first. I started at McDonald's and babysitting, and then I was a Pizza Hut waitress. But then I got into real estate in my 20s, and I've been a coach since 2001. I got into property management. I was an apartment leaser just for a year after I got divorced right here, 2000 to 2001. Well, I kind of got my feet back under me, and then I was back at it with the real estate coaching and investing. I have done different types of coaching. So I really like being a real estate agent, but it's a whole different feel than being a real estate investor. Really taking care of the other people is my primary concern and my whole job as a real estate agent, but taking care of me and my future and possibly my business partners, that's what the real estate investor part of my life is like. So they go hand in hand, but it's a very different kind of feel on both of those. I've done business coaching, accountability coaching, and personal development coaching over the years and love them all. Steve thought it'd be fun to see a little bit of our backgrounds. So in high school, I was really big into sports. I did track and field and cross-country running, gymnastics. I started acting with my family at the age of 6. We did a lot of musicals. Every summer, our family took a vacation to a different state down to Illinois, and we were 2 weeks in a musical. So that was fun. And I think as I was talking to Steve describing that, that was really where my comfort level of speaking in front of other people came. I think it's just because ever since I was little, we were in front of audiences of up to 10,000 people. So I never really had a problem with the speaking publicly. I have been an entrepreneur and a business owner most of my life. I started my first business when I was 25, my first official business. And before that, I was a nanny a couple of times, and I've now written my first book, which I thought would be really a breeze, and I'd be able to have it pumped out within a couple of months, and it's taken me 2 years. So that's been a long project, but officially the book is ready to go, and I'm very excited about that, and I will share a little bit more about that with you guys another time. I graduated in Wisconsin from high school. I went to the University of Wisconsin in Platteville just for a year after I graduated high school. Psychology has always stayed my major. I love how the brain works. I love people. I love how we interact. I love everything about it. And then I came out to Utah, and I did a couple more years at the University of Utah. So the book that I've written is Unwrapping the Gifts of Divorce. And it's because I've been divorced several times. Not that I planned life that way, but it's how it's gone. There are a lot of stories and experiences that have come through those difficulties, but I've definitely learned that there are gifts inside of everything that we go through that is difficult. And so that's the basis of my book, and that'll be launching here shortly. Steve already has his written. I'll tell you about that in just a few minutes. I also have an ebook out there that is called Investing in Foreclosures. Understanding the Process from A to Z was a name I came up with because there are a lot of steps in foreclosure. It is a unique animal in and of itself, and it is one of the series that we're going to be starting in January. We'll do another 6-week series, just like we finished the webinar, the wholesaling webinar series. And so the foreclosure series is, well, it's basically everything I've learned from being in that situation myself when I got divorced, and I went through an extremely hard time. Had all the 4 kids at that point. We lost our house. We lost everything, really, except the car. The car and the kids is what I took with me. And I've been in those shoes, which I think is why I can relate to other sellers very easily when they're in default on their mortgage. So investing in foreclosures is kind of close to my heart. I've helped a lot of people short sale their properties so they could get out from underneath the bigger mortgages when they're going through hard times. Sometimes divorce, sometimes medical. You just never know what people have gone through or what they're going through unless you have a good talk with them. So a house can look perfectly normal, just like this picture, and then come to find out the people inside are going through crazy chaos. And that's where that book came from. Now, Steve has some beautiful pictures here. His wife, Kara.
I'm on the phone there.
Oh, I'm so glad that you are. This is such a nice picture of you and Kara in the top middle. I love that.
Thanks.
Yep. And he now has grandkids. This is his youngest daughter, his son, his older daughter, and her family. So quite an adorable little bunch. He's lived in California, Texas, and Utah, a couple of different places here in California and Hawaii. Lucky sucker. So he has some good experiences about Hawaii that maybe he'll share with you over time. But it's fun. He did some real estate things over there, and I'm just jealous that he got to live there at all. He's traveled many places. You can see his states are filled in more than mine. He's been all over the place, all over this United States. That's funny, Steve. I didn't notice that you actually haven't ever been to Wisconsin, the one place I spent 19 years. I should take you there sometime.
There you go.
Not
in the winter.
So what?
Not in the winter.
Not in the winter. No siree. We will go about September. That's about perfect. Not too hot, not too cold.
There you go.
Yes. And his book, Life at 2 Miles an Hour, is a book about his journey when he walked 365 miles in order to raise money for Kevin, who was born without any arms or legs. And they were able, you know what, Steve, since you're on, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about that?
Well, this is a fundraiser deal that I did from the Olympic Torch up in Salt Lake at the University of Utah. And then we kind of took the back roads down Highway 89 down to southern Utah and into St. George. And the idea was to raise money for kids that needed prosthetics. And Kevin, he's this little guy in the red shirt on the right, became like our poster child. And we were able to raise enough money to get him a wheelchair-accessible van and make some donations to a group called Limbs for Life out of Oklahoma that provides kids at about a tenth of the cost, prosthetics for kids for about a tenth of the cost. And they also do something that's really interesting. In the United States, you cannot recycle so much as a screw out of a used prosthetic. So people just, there's nothing you can do with them other than throw them away. But there's this little girl in Texas that she's got like 3 limbs she gets prosthetics for, and she had this big bin full of them. And she got this idea when the earthquake happened in Haiti of sending used limbs down there. And so she had this big event, and people from all over the area came and donated tons of artificial limbs to Limbs for Life. They took them all down to Haiti, and they fitted the little kids down there with prosthetics. And they actually had a video of a girl who was walking for the first time after the earthquake on artificial legs that had been donated by this girl out of Texas. It was pretty dang awesome. Anyway, interesting story. But that's what that book is. It's kind of a documentary of, not documentary, it's a memoir of that journey and the things that I learned along the way. And so I enjoyed that experience, enjoyed writing about it. My other book is called Find the Money and the Deal Will Follow, which is kind of backwards from what you hear most people say. You hear a lot of people say, find a deal and the money will follow. But you never want to get into a place where you've got a deal all wrapped up, but no way to get the money. And so I wrote this book about transactional funding, which is one of the ways that you can pull some money together specifically for deals that you work with banks and government entities that want you to close on a deal rather than assign a contract. So this is how you can get that done. My relative experience, I started out as a real estate agent back in the last century sometime. It's a long time ago. And I did that twice, became a real estate agent twice. I kind of took a 10-year leave of absence from real estate while I was doing a little bit of traveling around. When I lived in Hawaii and lived in Texas, I didn't do real estate, but when I came back, I picked up my license again. At the same time, I kind of started working with my wife as a loan originator, and we were brokers, so we got to shop lots of different companies and had access to lots of different products. And this was at a time where lending was just going nuts. The rates were dropping like crazy. Everyone was refinancing. It was a good time to be in the loan lending business. About that same time, I started coaching. I had a friend of mine who was doing coaching, and he came over to my house and asked me if I wanted to do some coaching on real estate investing. And I said, well, I don't really know that much about that. And the truth was, as a real estate agent, most of my business was with investors. So I knew that from the real estate agent's point of view. I just never thought of myself as being an investor. And he said, you've had some experience with working with investors, and we could teach you everything you need to know. And I said, well, what does that mean? And he started naming off a couple strategies, and everything he came up with is like, I want to know how to do that. And so he got me in, he got me trained, and so I started doing the coaching way back in the early 2000s. And I've been doing that ever since, really. Not always was it real estate, but I've also been working with business and personal development, and I've been doing that part of it probably since 2009. And a few years back, Kristiin and I started doing accountability coaching for Danny Johnson. But anyway, that's kind of my coaching background. As a real estate investor, I did my first deal back in 2001. I focused on wholesaling, fix and flip, and then worked with a group in commercial multifamily stuff, mostly out of Texas. And we did several multifamily deals down there, and mostly around the Lubbock area, Abilene, out in West Texas. And so I have a love for the commercial side of things as well. And let me see what's next.
Non-related. Your fun stuff that you love to do.
My non-related. So I've taught everything from preschool through college classes, everything in between. I can tell you the worst of it is teaching junior high classes. Well, you never want to do that. They just in preschool and in elementary school, kids are still in awe of their teachers. By middle school, they lose it, but they don't have the maturity yet to be decent people. So, some of them gain it back in high school. But anyway, there's my prejudices right there. But I've always kind of enjoyed being a teacher of some sort or other. But I also became a professional musician back in 85. It's when I started doing that. And I did that for a living for a fair number of years. I play guitar and sing and write songs, write music. For a while, I did technical support and became a team manager for a group that did support for high-speed internet connections in hotels. And we had some other things that we also did support for, but that was the main thing. Spent a little bit of time kind of related to my music career dealing with electronics. We did digital signal processors for a company called DoD Electronics, and so would make the chorus pedals and the sound processors and the different effects pedals, mostly for guitar. But that was kind of early on in that industry, and they've come up with lots of amazing things since. Some of it's still the same, exactly the same as we used to use. But now they've got them, and we started playing with this back in the day, where you could actually set up a chord pattern and sing three-part harmony with yourself. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
And lastly, I'm an author, so I've published this book, Life at 2 miles an hour. The ebook is out there and available. I've got a couple of other projects that I'm working on that I hope to be out by the next year. But that's kind of the fun stuff. And what's next? Education.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school in Utah, in south end of Salt Lake Valley. I did a little bit of work at the University of Utah, and I was one of those guys who couldn't stand being inside of a cement building when it was springtime. So I had a hard time staying focused. It got worse, actually, as I got older, but I went to school at the University of Hawaii, and I managed to pull it together there, and got a degree in psychology, and then got into grad school at Texas A&M, mostly focusing on work groups and cultural kind of things. That's what took my wife and I to New Zealand, as we were both there under some fellowships to work on cultural diversity issues out there. But that was kind of a fun deal for me. I've never had a job as a psychologist, but the background that I got studying psychology has helped me a lot with most everything I do. So I'm glad I did that and have that experience, even though my life's work has kind of been somewhat of a different direction. But that's it. And I think we're back to you, Christine.
Okay. So we wanted to let you guys know what's coming up in January. We've got the wholesaling, the rentals, creating generational wealth from your rentals and your portfolio, fixing and flipping, seller financing, and we're going to do all types of seller financing, wraparound mortgages, lease options, land trusts. So we'll go into a lot of the different types that you can choose from. And then foreclosures, like I was mentioning with the ebook that I put together. Foreclosures is a complex animal, so we're going to walk you through that for 6 weeks. And then these programs also involve the accountability. So we have a weekly call, Monday through Friday. That's a daily accountability to make sure you're actually making progress between your weekly webinar sessions. An initial introductory strategy session, so we'll sit down and just over the phone go through your 5-year business plan. What do you want to do? Some people just want to do rentals, some people just want to do wholesaling. We don't care what your portfolio looks like, we just want to help you map that out over the next 5 years so you know where you're starting and hopefully where you're headed to. And with the foreclosures being such a complex subject, and they're not really popular right now, but they're still going on. They're going across the United States. So what I'd recommend is if you're interested in either the seller financing or the foreclosures, you learn about it whenever it makes sense for you, and if now is the time for you, great. But wholesaling, rentals, and fix and flip are things that people get started with very often. They're pretty easy to understand. Most people are a little bit familiar with them, at least the rentals and fix and flip. Some people are familiar with wholesaling. Seller financing, it's a big animal as well, but you can just zone in on one technique. So we'll teach you several, but then if one kind of grabs you, then that's the kind of deal I would recommend you go out and try first. And we walk you through that, through all the questions you have. So through the technique on the webinars, through the accountability on the daily calls, and then monthly you'll have a call with your mentor. And that will just be to make sure you're going through making incremental progress month after month instead of spinning your wheels. So that is what the program looks like. Right now we're running a special. We still have not reached our first 10. So the first 10 get $500 off, and that's just for the one accountability, or sorry, for the one webinar series. So the retail price is $29.95. You can get $500 off of that. But also we have a January special for a combo. If you want to do 2 different techniques, and you know you want to learn 2 anyway, we tried to price them down so that you can just a la carte pick and choose what you like. So we don't just charge you a whole bunch and then you get whatever you get, and you might only be interested in 1 or 2. We understand some people would like a variety of different types of real estate in their portfolio like I do, and some people might just be that one technique person, the rental. So you guys get to decide. But if you do decide you want to learn at least 2 of these and you want to start with 2 right away, paying now is going to save you some money. So the January specials combo is $34.95 for 2 of the webinars plus all of the other support and training that comes along with it. So now we're at Q&A, and we've got a few people. Everybody on my end that I can see is unmuted, but you guys just go ahead and ask your questions, and we're here for you. So what's on your minds?
Hey, Christine, I'll start off really quick if you don't mind.
Okay. Nope, go right ahead.
I think a few people here, and probably a few that have registered that might not have been able to make it, might have shared that flyer. And can you talk a little bit about what that's going to mean for them if they did that? I think if they did that and they're here, and even if they're not, they can see this recording maybe later down the road.
Yeah.
It'd be good for them to be clear on what is going to be, what they're going to be doing, what's included with that. Just really quick. That might open the doors a little bit more for the questions.
And I'm glad that you reminded me about people that registered, because some people told me they were registering tonight in order to get the recording. We do offer the recording to anybody who registers, so if your schedule doesn't permit, maybe you're at work or you have a commitment, you can always register for the webinars, and then Ty will send out a link to the recorded webinar to whoever's on that list, so you don't have to worry about it. It's an automated part of what we do now. So the flyer, the promotion that we just got done running, that was to give away a free webinar. We found out at the end of that at the end of that promotion, that Facebook doesn't allow you to run a contest where you ask people to like your business page, and we didn't know that. So everybody gets to be a winner, so it's not that kind of a contest. So if you liked and shared our promotional flyer on the Get a Free Webinar, you automatically get to pick one of these. It doesn't come with all of the support. You can add that on if you want to. So we'll talk to you about pricing if that's something you want for the daily accountability or the monthly one-on-ones with your mentor and the strategy session. But you get to come and do the whole 6-week webinar for free. So all you have to do is tell us which one you want, and we'll register you for that. We just need your email address. And please contact us, because we can't see everybody that shared it from our side. Some people shared from a share, and so if you know that you shared that flyer, then please feel free to get in touch with us and get your free webinar. And you can pick any of those subjects. Let me go back to that really quick. These are the 5 different webinars to choose from. They're all 6 weeks, so they'll be the equal amount of time, pretty much equal amount of content, and it's the same format as these. We'll go through the content, and then you get to ask questions, so you can always be learning. And some people have a lot of questions, some don't have many at all, and that's okay. Just come as you are, bring what you got. So that's what we'll be doing. So questions on that, on the program itself, or on any of these topics we're going to be covering?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh gosh, I can't even hardly hear because this. So we thought about fixing and flipping, but now I think rentals is really something we're interested in, like very much so. Can you hear me
Excellent.
still?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's great.
Okay. Yeah, because I would really like to get in that. Like I said to Tyrell, I don't know if you've talked to him or not, but we have 3 here, and they're just trailers now. But since I've talked to him, we've thought about getting another.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just kind of want to learn more of like everything that needs to come along with it.
Okay. Excellent. So a couple of questions I would have as far as picking which one you want, because I know you won one of these. So do you
Mhm.
want to learn more about the ins and outs of property management and how to accumulate more rentals, how to leverage rentals, or do you want to learn a little bit more about seller financing, like not necessarily having to pay all cash and buy the trailers outright, but just finding sellers who might want out of them and taking over their payments or just giving them a small down and then paying them monthly? How
I
do you
don't
want
think
to
that I want
acquire them?
to like,
Mhm.
I don't think I want to do property management because um I don't really want to be the manager.
Okay.
I want to
Nice.
like get somebody else to do it for me. But
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see. But I guess it could be good too because then I would know what to expect. So I would probably maybe
That is
start there.
nice. Okay. And it doesn't mean you can't ask some questions. There'll be some crossover. None of these are like exactly straight down the line with one thing because, for example, team building applies to all of these. How to work with realtors can apply in all of these. Finding buyers for your properties can apply to all these. So there will be definitely some crossover. So probably I would recommend that we have you start with seller financing just so that you can pick them up. If you've already got 3, you understand the concept of buying them. And to me, being able to leverage into more of them and faster would make more
Mhm.
sense. And I know out there in Vernal, there's a lot of stuff sitting around that you can pick up. So as long as you can get them for good
Oh, yeah.
prices, make sure they cash flow. I don't doubt you could seller finance several of them with very
I
little
mean,
money down.
they're all pretty really cheap, but they have a lot of work to be done. But I mean, my husband is great at that, so
And
he wouldn't have to hire anybody else to do it. He could do it himself, all everything.
nice. Is there enough
And
of a tenant pool out there? Is there high demand for rentals that are decent?
yeah, and where especially like location too. I mean,
Hmm.
because where we're at is just really small. There's not a lot of people in. It's like really close knit, and a lot of people are always trying to look at that, like, oh, well, that's a nice place, and the yards are clean, and they've got big yards and everything. So I
Hmm.
think that it would work.
Okay. And you don't have to decide for sure today. We've got a few weeks before we start. We're going to be starting these, let's see, rental starts on January 4th, and everything else will be within the week after that. So week to
Okay.
week and a half into January, you'll be able to decide for sure. If you know sooner, great. But I'd maybe talk to your husband about it and find out for
Yeah.
sure what he'd like you to focus in on. Because rentals they're good, obviously, for long-term wealth. You already know that. That's why you're picking them
Yeah.
up. But we're going to cover more about how do you find them, how do you make sure they cash flow, and it honestly sounds like you probably have some of that down already.
Yeah, and then I mean, he's into flipping and fixing and flipping
Mm,
because that's what he does for his job daily. And
nice. Well,
eventually, I mean, his dream would to have his own.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like contraction or whatever.
Yeah.
Contraction.
Conjunction.
I'll tell him.
So you live in Vernal?
Yeah.
My oldest daughter with the 3 grandsons just moved there.
Oh, that's right. Just a couple weeks ago, huh?
It's
Yeah.
nice, but I don't love it. But I mean, it's nice.
But it's where you are,
Yeah,
so you get to
she
prosper where
loves
you
it.
planted.
Job now, so I mean, he's got a really really good job here. So, but
Good.
eventually, I mean, we don't want to work for themselves.
Yeah. Sure, and since he has so many handy skills, the fixing and flipping would make sense because he can make a decent living just doing that with his construction skills, and you guys can keep the rentals for long-term
Yeah,
money
that's
and
what
for cash flow.
that's what we were kind of thinking, like both, because
Mm-hmm.
I could go one way and he could go the other. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, it could be a team effort together, but different kind of things, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And remember, we plan to be here for a lot of years. I've been in real estate 20 years. Steve's been in 25-ish, right, Steve?
No, just
How
since,
long?
well, as a real estate agent, yeah. Since
Well, yeah, just anything
90,
real estate related. I started as
yeah,
an investor and then became an agent, but you started as an agent and then became an investor, but still, it's all related. You were learning. So what year did you
right,
start your real estate career?
92.
Yeah, before me, about 5 years before me. So 25
Yeah,
years, I just think we're not going anywhere. It's taken me a long time to get to the point where I was able to put this program together. So I just say that, if you guys start with one thing and then 6 weeks later you want to try something else, great. If it's 6 months later, then pick up another one. Say we're ready to do a fix and flip, or we want to learn this year, so we're ready next year. Start getting things lined up. These are things that you
Yeah,
can always pick up.
yeah.
yeah,
What's
I'll
really
talk
nice
to
is
him.
when you have a few strategies under your belt, you're going to find that there's just properties that are just better handled a certain way. There's going to be some that
Yeah,
you're going to want to buy and hold on to. There will be some that have good potential in fixing it up and flipping it. And if you have different abilities, if you know how to wholesale, you can pass on anything that has value. If you have one that you want to keep, you can keep it. Or if you have one you just want to fix and flip, you can do that as well. So you want
that
to
sounds
start creating this tool belt, if you will, of skills so that anything you find, you've got a place to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, wholesaling could be really great too, actually. I mean, so many options.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are. And I'm going to keep saying this out loud so that as people come into our program, it sticks in their brain for the future. I want everybody thinking about how we can all network together over the years because, for example, Shree, if you're out there and you find 10 trailers and you want to keep 5 for yourself and you want to wholesale 5 of them off, if you've structured the deal right so they cash flow, there's no reason why somebody out of Texas or California can't pick those up as cheap rentals, and they can usually buy them just with cash so they don't have to worry about a mortgage on them. And those are the
Yeah,
kinds of
that's what.
things that I want people doing. Some people finding good deals, some people ready to buy, and you put them together. There's no reason why we can't get that kind of a system put in place.
Yeah, I like the idea of that, definitely. Because, I mean, well, when we bought ours, we bought it for 11,000, which is a really, really, really bad price because it's not worth 11,000, and it still is not worth 11,000. But we did cash straight out, and worst mistake of our lives. But also, I mean, like Ty said, we could rent it and hopefully maybe get some of it back. I mean, we've done so many fixes on it, floors, ceilings, everything, porches, everything. And I know that there's no option in selling it because we'll never see 11,000. It's probably worth like 2 at the most.
Well,
But we needed a place to live, so we couldn't be picky.
Right. And somebody that only has $5,000 to start their first real estate deal, I can just give you an idea of, hey, if you want to sell it on contract, maybe they give you your $2,000 down that the place is worth right now, so you've got that money out of it, and then they're making payments to you over the years, so that's how you recoup your $11,000. You could seller finance it to someone else. So seller finance is a great way to pick stuff up, but it's also a great way to sell stuff off.
That is a great idea, actually. But, I mean, and then, yeah, it would be nice. And then also it would be nice just to maybe, like, rent it for a million years. And
Sure, exactly. Because if you do that math, what could you rent it for out there? Let's talk about a fair market rent really quick because that actually would relate well to what we're talking about here.
probably 8 to 9 at where we're
800 to
at.
900 a month?
yeah, and that because you don't have lot space and you don't have um, anything like that because I mean, people are renting like the crappiest little apartments for 1,000.
Holy cow!
Serious,
So I'm laughing
it's tight
because
out there.
I'm laughing, Sheree, because that's amazing. So just to give you a perspective, a house that I bought around 10 years ago. I actually bought it for the guy. He wanted to buy something, but he couldn't. His credit wasn't great, so I did a rent-to-own for him. He was one of those that didn't work out because he has never fixed his credit. He keeps making bad money decisions, but he makes his rent payment on time every month, and so I let him stay there. And I don't think he'll ever fix his credit good enough to buy the place, but he pays $800 a month, and I bought that place for $100,000. So when you're talking about I can get an $800 a month payment on an $11,000 investment, my mind says, holy cow, that thing is paid off in no time. So what I was going to start with is, all right, let's just go conservative, 800, not 900. Maybe because you guys put on the new decks and you fixed it up and it looks nice and the flooring's new, it would rent for 900 because of the condition. That's kind of what it sounds like. But just to do conservative numbers, we'll 800 times 12 months, so 9,600 minus some taxes, minus some insurance, but you're pretty darn close to recouping your money in 1 year. If you only have to make 11,000, you even hold it 2 years, and now you've almost doubled your money that you put into the place. It just, wow, we need to talk about some of those deals out there.
Because there is brother-in-laws, which we got for $300, which was a great deal. And
a whole trailer for $300?
Yeah. But we had to put in new floors, ceiling, everything. But I mean, it really only ran us like 1,000. So he rents from us pretty much, and then there's 2 more on the end, and one is 3 and 4, which we got the 3 already, and the other is 4,000. And they all need fixed up, but they're really, I mean, I think fix them up nice. Like ours, we put a new deck on, a new porch on front and back, painted inside, outside, everything that, you know, floors, tile, everything. Wooden floors, everything is really nice. And I think that if you did the same thing for all 3, then, you know, that's great money, I think.
Amazing. And this is why real estate gets me so excited, you guys, because it's all relative. So you live about 3 hours from where I am. In my market, I can't buy anything. I can't buy a postage stamp of land for $300 or $11,000. Well, maybe a piece of junk land for $11,000. But the difference in what you're selling out there, the difference compared to what we're selling here, it's just night and day. And then it takes me back to the beginning days when I started to invest in real estate for fixing and flipping. So I'd done a bunch of rentals. We moved into fixing and flipping several years later. And in that fix and flip process, I found people out of California that couldn't believe what I could buy for $150,000 to $100,000. Because in order for us to make X amount of dollars, let's say to make 20%, to make $40,000, we could be in and out of a deal for $200,000 total. For them to even buy anything that was under $1 million that they could flip and make $40,000 on cost them so much out of their pocket that the rate of return shrunk way, way down. So it's all about what can you get into it for, what can you resell it for or rent it for, compared to what are the market rents, what are the market resale values. It's just all so relative, but your buying power can go so much farther. That's why we ended up going out of state, because we went and bought a duplex that could, you know, at the time it was cash flowing about $500 a month, and we were only into it $76,000. Well, to get something to cash flow here for $500 a month, number one, it was pretty much impossible to find one unit that would do that. But even if I did, I'd be putting out $500,000 because the ratios just weren't there. So I am just super excited for you.
Like I said before, you know, like it's a good thing because my husband, God bless his soul, and I love him to death. He is the man of the month. Everything is saved, even if it's a little tiny piece of scrap wood that I myself would never ever use or think about using. He saves. So I mean, as far as coming for the other ones to put into, it won't cost us that much because I have bathroom sinks, I have kitchen sinks, I have toilets, I have everything. I mean, he just saves everything.
You got your own mini Home Depot. That's great.
Yes, it's exactly what it is because the backyard looks just like it. But but on the other hand, I mean, that's good too because it would just be the buying because then he would do his own work and also we have enough too where we don't really have to buy. I mean, just odds and ends, maybe like 2x4 or whatever, you know, but nothing big, major.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you could have enough cash flow within 6 months on these properties that he could quit his job.
And that's what we love to do. Just because, I mean, you know, I mean, he has a good job, but also he would like to have, you know, everybody would like to have something that they can call their own.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I would say, and this is a perspective that I keep all the time in my life with my family, divorces, all that fun stuff, but in business, absolutely, that you say that $11,000 purchase was one of the dumbest things you ever did in your life, but the lessons that you have learned from that one trailer, what you have gotten in the way of experience being there is so valuable. So you'll be able to make that money back, no problem. Don't even worry if it's upside down. That's how you can oftentimes fix an upside down problem with the financing. Yeah. You just do seller financing, you can get your money back and then some, a whole bunch. So we'll figure a plan out for you. Yeah. That's exciting.
That it will be, and I think that with the others, it will work out. I mean, 3,000 is not a bad deal. 300 is not a bad deal.
Nope. Not a bad deal at all. I hate to tell you what I spend $300 on sometimes. I try to be smart about that now, but honestly, when you can buy a living dwelling for $300 and put even $1,000 into it to fix it up, wow, that's impressive, Sheree.
It was a complete mess. The lady was a hoarder, but it was really, really bad. But now you walk into it and it's like night and day. It's total different. The floor's nice, and I mean everything is so much better. The bathrooms are great, everything. So it's nice now.
Yeah. And this is one reason I love hearing from other people, because when we start sharing what we have available, what we know, what we can buy, all of that is available for other people that might not have the opportunity otherwise. I know a lot of people who might only have $5,000 or $10,000 to get started in real estate, and they don't even have enough for a down payment on a regular house that they live in or in the city that they live in, because their prices are so much higher. But if they can get their first rental property for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, that opens up the door for so many people. Yeah. So, all right, well, good. We'll continue to network on that. Do you have, well, Steve and Ty, do you have any questions for Sheree or comments?
No, I just want to second what you said about turning that into a rental and selling it like on a lease option, just seller finance kind of a deal. Mm-hmm. And odds are pretty good that you're going to make out pretty good on this long term.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And that's what I love. Doesn't that get you excited, Steve? Like, she thinks, well, we put in 11, we're only going to get 2 out, and my brain goes bing, 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 bing. We're going to get like 40 grand out of that trailer. You just give me.
Well, Ty told me the other day, I didn't even have a clue in my brain from it. I was just like, oh, we've lost out, and and I was like, why did we do that? But then Ty's like, why are you renting it? Why don't you rent them? I'm like, oh.
Right. That's what's good, because Ty has the rental investor mindset. So some people have it, some don't, but he gets that whole big picture, and I'm glad he gave you
has
that
a whole
advice.
ball of wax.
Well, especially with the rental market out there, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, I mean, I thought that was high because in Alabama we paid $650 for our house on a big, huge property, and I mean, it was really. I thought, who would want to come and pay $800 when in Alabama we had 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 kitchens, big, 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 like 4 acres probably, and we only paid $650, and I thought 800 is outrageous, you know,
Right.
when
But it's your
probably.
market. Yep. So
But I was looking around after I got off with Ty the other day, and for the crappiest, like the crummiest, like apartments, they're 850, 900.
Wow.
I may even be like
Yeah.
lowballing as far as like that, because I mean, some that are like 2 to 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, some of them are like $1,200 and stuff like that. But I don't want to overcharge because, you know, that's just ridiculous. But
And
I
you
mean,
don't need to.
it's great. That's a lot. That's like a house payment, a car payment.
Well, that is super good. All
Yeah,
right,
that kind of rate of return could be phenomenal.
Yeah. Yes,
Hey,
phenomenal
Kristiin,
is one word I would use for it. Huh?
We had a quick question about the January package. I believe that was 3,400.
Yeah.
So if we could, yeah. So let's revisit that just really quick because I'm getting some questions about that.
Okay.
Looks
So
like some
it
people
is-
might have come in just a little late on that, so they just want to know more about that.
Yeah, we have no doubt that over time, as word spreads, that we're going to be a little bit overswamped at some point, but we're not right now. So you guys that are getting in at the ground level, you get all of the years of our experience, all of our coaching training, everything the same, but because we've got time and we can discount right now, we've just chosen to do it. So we've got the webinars that we're putting together. All that we've asked is that, hey, you guys, as being part of our first 10, we just got number 4 today, so I'm being flat out, what do you call that, transparent. We still have 6 to go. You know, we've got 6 of you that can still get in on here. I don't know if we're going to continue it past the end of December. We'll see how busy we get, but at least you have the discount until the end of December or until we reach our first 10. So the combo deal is 2 of the webinars. You get to pick 2 of those other topics, so you get 12 weeks of actual webinar training, the slides that come with it, the recordings that come with the information, plus all of this other accountability training. The 6 months of accountability. So we have the daily the daily group calls, and we have the monthly one-on-one calls. Plus your strategic planning session. When you do your strategy session, we don't necessarily time it. If you need a half an hour, great. If you need an hour, we can probably squeeze it out that long right now. Not a big deal. But in that half an hour to hour, you're going to be able to sit down with one of the mentors and go over your goals, come up with a 5-year business plan so that you can figure out where are you headed. Where do you want to go? What is your unique investing strategy? That's what we help you put together. And then over the time, over the 6 weeks of training, 6 months of accountability, what you'll be doing is taking those bigger strategy sessions or strategy goals. You'll take your bigger goals, and then you're going to chunk them down into what am I working on this month, and what am I working on this week, and what am I working on today. And then you just keep tracking that. That's what we really learned to do with accountability. When Steve and I became accountability coaches, I know for me it changed my world. It turned from years of being taught how to be a coach, how to be an educational coach, how to deliver the examples, the numbers, the techniques, all of that. And it made us put it into action more than ever before. So now what we do is make sure that everybody that works with us makes progress, makes money, makes deals. That's our goal. We don't have a goal to take your money and just teach you. We have a goal to take your money, use it to support ourselves so we have free time and can come and teach you even more and more, whatever you want. If you want to learn a new technique, let us know. We will add it to our list of things that we teach. We're very open and very flexible at this point. But the accountability to do what you know you need to be doing or want to be doing, or maybe you don't know you need to do it yet, but we tell you that you need to be doing it, that's part of our job too. But make sure that you're doing it. So we're very results oriented. We are not just a training company, we are an accountability company. We make sure that you are going to make money on your deals. Steve, you got 2 cents on that?
I just want to echo what you just said. We're really focused on your success, and that's what makes us feel successful.
Yep.
So just know that's the personality types you're dealing with here.
It is. It refers back to what Steve said about him loving teaching. He's been a teacher in one form or another pretty much his whole adult life. I didn't know that I loved teaching and sharing. I didn't know I loved it until I became a coach. And I thought, this is great. This is really fulfilling. I like it. So I could go out and do my own deals all the time and that's it, but that doesn't fulfill me. Just making money doing real estate deals is not what makes my heart happy. So you're talking to a couple of people here that love to share what they know and help others be able to be successful. That's why we like working together. We're a very good fit that way. Our intentions and our goals are the same.
Yep.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions for us? All right. Well, I've said my 2 cents. Steve, you got anything else before we wrap up?
No, it sounds like we're good to go. We'll look forward to working with you guys at whatever capacity you decide you want to participate. And, whether it's one of the packages or whether you just sit on Monday night webinars like this, we just love being able to work with you in whatever way you're open to. So,
you know what? That reminds me. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just thinking when you were talking about, if you choose a package, that's great. Let me give you guys a perspective on what kind of a deal this is in case you haven't been to the website. So each one of these packages is either I'm just going to round it up the few dollars, so $2,500 or $5,000. The $5,000 package comes with the guarantee that we will work with you until you finish a deal. So that's a very rare thing in the coaching industry, that there is any kind of guarantee. And the guarantee that we'll continue to work with you till you do a deal as long as you've done your assignments, that's pretty huge. And so that is right now our very most expensive package. That's amazing. You still get all of this training, so the 6 weeks of training, the accountability, but the guarantee is the extra piece of that, because who knows, it might take some people a year. It takes a year and a half, maybe we're not doing our job right. I pray it doesn't take that long, but maybe it's just a little slow. You're having a hard time, or you really want a rental and you can't get your credit fixed up. Whatever the reasons, we will continue to hammer past your roadblocks until you get one done. The regular price, go ahead.
I just have one more thing to add, but you go ahead and finish what you're saying.
I was just going to say the other regular price of $29.95, but discounted in December to $2,500. That doesn't come with a guarantee, but it's still 6 months of training for that cost. So you get all of what we talked about here. So if you're thinking about another $500 off of that for a January special coming up, or to combo those at $34.95, that's a pretty darn good package. Go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, we've talked about the years that we've been in coaching, but we haven't really told you exactly what we have done over the years. We've been involved with probably most of the big names, and I don't really want to share those names at this point. Some have chosen paths we don't really care to go down, some we're not involved with for reasons like that. But people would pay upwards to $25,000 for a package, and we were the fulfillment end of that. And so when somebody bought a coaching package from a big name real estate guru or business development guru, they'd end up talking to Kristiin and I, and then other coaches as well. But that's our background, and that's the kind of value that we brought to the table. And so the middleman is gone in this case, and what you're getting is just pure us. And you're getting an extremely good deal on what you would have to pay in the regular marketplace for this kind of delivery of training. So you want to realize that. I'll tell you guys
why, when I talked to Steve about setting it up this way, the main reason that I wanted to do that is just because of what he said, to cut out the middleman. Because my whole intention with doing this kind of a business plan is for you guys to be able to take the extra money that you have and do deals. Because I don't need all of your money. That's not why we're doing this, or we may have gone down that path of charging $25,000, and you start with 5, then you upsell and you upsell, and pretty soon you're in the VIP package, and that's another $10,000 or $15,000. That's not our business model. Our business model is to make sure that you have as much money for your deals as possible. So we are fairly compensated, and you are doing deals. That's what gets us excited, and that is the business model that we're after. Now, Steve did say he wants to do a cruise at some point, so.
There's no reason why we can't do this on a cruise ship.
Right? But you don't have to pay $10,000 to come and meet us and hang out with us on the cruise ship in our VIP circle. You can actually just come on the cruise with us, and we can hang out. We can talk real estate sometimes while we're having, drinks around the pool or ice cream or whatever we want. But we're not looking to just continue to upsell you. The only thing we're going to continue to sell you is more training. You want to learn more techniques? You want to learn more strategies? Great. We will continue to train you until you are happy and satisfied. But we want your money going into your deals. So thanks for that, Steve. That actually tickled my brain for a minute to mention, because we are talking about who we are. Why are we coaches? We're the mentors that do what? Well, there's always a why behind what you do, and so that's where we're coming from. That's where we've been. That's where we want to go, and we just hope that you guys are along for the ride. And if you decide you don't have the money to do it right now, keep coming to the free Monday night trainings. You'll pick up a ton of information, and then you can continue to just plug in wherever you're able with the videos, with our Facebook page, Facebook business page, on the website, on the tips and tricks. They're for free. We're giving a lot of stuff away for free so that you have your training already in place. Dipping your toe in the water, but whenever you're ready to take a dive into the pool, you let us know, and we're here with you. Okay, we're wrapping it. I don't hear any other questions coming, so we will talk to you guys as soon as we do. Hopefully, if not later this week, then next week is the day after Christmas. We're going to take that week off, and we will be back with you the following Monday. But you can always check the Facebook page and check for upcoming events, and we'll keep you apprised of when our free webinars are again. You guys be blessed. Have a fantastic, fantastic Merry Christmas, full of peace and love and blessings, spending time with your family and your loved ones as much as possible. And we will talk to you in 2 weeks or less if you get a hold of us before then.
Kristiin, do we have any thoughts on explaining a little bit about some of the stuff that we talked about in the video the other day, or are we waiting to just unroll that on Facebook?
Oh, the financial freedom plan?
The fitness package, yep.
Yeah, you know what? Let's mention it here. That's okay, because we're going to hit it hard on the Facebook page, but since we won't have another promotional event really before then, just know that you guys can join the financial fitness program that we're starting in January 2017. The flyer about it will be posted on the Facebook page probably tomorrow, Ty?
With your blessing, it will be put up as soon as
Okay, maybe
As soon
tonight.
as soon as you sign off on it.
Okay. So if one of your concerns is, gosh, I don't have any money, well, number one, we know ways to use other people's money to invest in real estate, so you honestly do not need to wait to have your own cash to do real estate deals. But if you are carrying any kind of debt, if you're having any problem budgeting, sticking to a budget, that's where the accountability piece comes in. If you're having any kind of financial concerns at all, this would be a good 6-week program for you. So we're going to walk you through going over your financial overview. Where are you right now? Where do you want to be? And then we do what we do best. We walk you through the steps to get you to where you want to be. So that's the financial fitness program. We'll be launching a date that it will start. We'll be launching the time it will start and the price to get involved. And in promoting that, we're giving away 2 free spots. And so if you want to look on the Facebook page and just like the flyer, since we found out we can't have you like the Facebook page, but we can have you like the flyer, we're going to run our next contest like that. So just like the flyer, share it with whoever you want to, because maybe they'll win and you'll be able to help them get out of some debt, save some money, fix their financial situation for the new year. So we want to invite you to watch for that flyer, like it, share it, and hopefully you'll win one of the 2 spots.
Does Jada have any questions for us before we go? I just want to double check with her.
Jada?
No, I am happy to hear about that financial fitness. Now, do they kind of overlap each other as far as when you have your one-on-one consultation and then kind of what direction that you want to go? Do they kind of overlap each other or are they separate?
They will be separate. So, for example, if you sign up for both of those, you'd have 2 different strategy plannings, because one really is about your 5-year business plan for investing, and the other would be a financial only overview.
Okay.
So you get one of each. And as far as the webinars themselves, we didn't put that on one of these slides, but see at the bottom where it says any combination of 2 programs? We don't want you to be overwhelmed, so if it's better for you guys to buy the 2 now to save the money, but let's say you want to focus on the finances first, you do that for the first 6 weeks, and then the next time your other webinar comes around and is available, then you sign up for that one. Or you can flip-flop them, so you do the webinar.
You can
first
actually
one.
You can actually take the courses anytime in 2017.
Yep.
Okay.
So if it's too much to handle, like that's just too much on the brain to be thinking about the budget and the planning and going out and doing real estate calls and networking, it's okay. We've got to pace it at wherever you guys are comfortable. If you're ready to move that fast, you can do them simultaneously. They'll both start. So the financial fitness and every one of the webinars will start within that first week between the 4th of January to the 11th then. And so you'd be doing 2 webinars a week and kind of double the homework. But if you can handle it, that's fine. If you decide you can't, maybe we just take you out of one and wait until a later date. But it's up to you guys. We can be flexible.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Ty, did you have any other questions come in online?
No, I believe we cleared up. The first 10 are getting the 500 off the $29.95 price, and then there's the combo, which is not the bigger package. It's just the combo. You can put 2 together. For that, there's a percentage off there. I'm seeing. I think we do have the understanding there, so it looks like we got that explained. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. You bet.
And I will need to talk to you when you have a moment. So let's get together after this.
Okay. Right after this. Let's go ahead and stop the recording, let everybody go on to be with their families and whatever they're doing for the night, and then we'll talk to you guys soon. Be blessed. Thanks for showing up tonight, and thanks for the great questions.
See you guys.
Thank you, guys. Look forward to working with you.
Yep, amen. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, too.
All right, Chris.